So Rush Limbaugh, I guess he feels, Fox News is really pretty much every single Fox News host has been weighing in on Ebola, from the non-experts over at Fox News to the non-experts over at Fox News. And they all have their own ideas about what should be done, such as closing our borders and closing our borders and closing our borders. And Rush Limbaugh feels he has to weigh in too. Can't let one right-wing media outlet get all of the Ebola goodness in terms of the massive ratings I'm sure they're getting from Ebola. I mean, why else would they cover it so much? Rush Limbaugh here has some very interesting things about why Obama is not protecting us from Ebola. Let's put up my computer and let's give it a listen.
They say it isn't. They say it's hard to get. Obama's telling us that. The CDC guys telling us that it's hard to get. They're telling us we've got nothing to worry about. In fact, I don't know if you were listening on Friday, but we had this author. I can't remember his name now, and I wish I could. David something or other. And he actually said, in his own politically correct way, that we bear the responsibility for these people in Africa getting this disease, and we can't turn our backs on them because of that. He said the only reason they are there is because of American slavery. Liberia came to exist because of American slavery, and since they fled this country to escape the bonds of slavery, and they set up Liberia, if it hadn't been for us, they wouldn't now be suffering from this virus. And so we can't turn our backs on them. We are culpable in his way of thinking. If it hadn't been for us, if it hadn't been for slavery, there might not be Ebola. Now, he didn't say it in those words, but it's inescapable, that conclusion. My point to you, Cliff, and I know that there are going to be some people smirk at this. David Quammen was the guy's name, and he's a well-known Ebola expert and has written books about it.
Sounds like definitely the type of guy who's an asshole you wouldn't want to listen to when talking about Ebola, a well-known Ebola expert who writes books about it.
And I'm telling you, there are oddballs. There are people in this country. Do not doubt me on this, folks. There are people in this country who believe what this guy said, that this is ultimately traced back to us because of our slavery, and these poor people had to leave this country because it was so horrible here because of slavery, and they established Liberia. Sierra Leone, by the way, was established by British African Americans who fled slavery there. And if it hadn't been for that, they probably wouldn't have. So there's some people who think we kind of deserve a little bit of this. Make no mistake, that is leftist political correct thinking. It's always been around. The danger.
Jeez. That's amazing. I did look into this, and I do have to thank Rush because I learned something new. In fact, Liberia was founded not by freed U.S. slaves, but yes, as a result of slaves being freed. Liberia was founded by the American Colonization Society, a group of white Americans, including some slaveholders. They had mixed motives. The moderates thought slavery was unsustainable and should eventually end, but did not consider integrating slaves into society as a viable option. These were the moderates. On the other end, you had that they preferred this option, moving the slaves to Liberia, to the alternative, which is free black Americans demanding rights, jobs, and resources at home.
I also liked Sierra Leone was founded by British African Americans.
He said British African Americans? I didn't catch that. I was too busy.
Not to be a prick about it, but I enjoyed that.
That's amazing.
I enjoyed that.
Oh, man. Rush is too much. But that's why Obama's not saving us from
you don't
Ebola.
want Ebola, don't found Liberia. Assalamu alaikum.
Yep.
Ungawa Black Power.
Yep. Man, Obama's sure showing us whites by the first U.S. American with Ebola dying today being a black man. He sure showed us.
Subtle operation.
He sure showed us. The whites are in danger here in America from Ebola after the first Ebola death in the United States is an African American. Amazing.